It's actually very hard to believe that a decade has passed since Rohinton became president of CIGI.
It's been so rewarding working together for the past decade. It's important to acknowledge Rohinton's contributions and achievements at CIGI in the context that Canada doesn't have a history of think tanks. And so establishing proper program planning really cannot be underestimated in laying the foundation for why CIGI is doing so well now.
At the end of the day, one of the things that this great think tank has benefited from Rohinton's leadership is really someone who can take the bull by the horns and lead an organization to move forward.
He saw that the digital economy was going to transform the very idea of governance and democracy, and ideas like liberty and equality that we had taken for granted in our hub and spoke economy were no longer going to be as easy to cabin or to even govern in the digital economy.
There's never been a time in international relations like we have today where there's so many cascading crises at the same time. And to have someone like Rohinton out there, decoding it for us, helping us make sense of it, is not just comforting when we are bewildered by so many thoughts, but kind of essential in terms of how the media approaches the world.
Having Rohinton's leadership at CIGI has, I believe, made CIGI more accessible. Definitely to parliamentarians, definitely to the cabinet, the government of Canada, but as well as to institutions across the country and around the world.
I think that as the head of a think tank, he has not just been wiser, he's been very willing to share his wisdom with others.
He combines imagination, analytic competence, and a kind of mature wisdom. I've seen him in the global north and I've seen him in the global south, and he just seems like he knows how to connect. And so he inspires trust and he draws people out.
He brings perspectives that would not otherwise have been fully adequately reflected. But he also has this Canadian perspective that I think is important in the context of other multilateral discussions.
He always leaves me with a big thought, which as a journalist is just invaluable.
His work amazingly both one that saw the forest, but every leaf on every tree was something that he also was concerned about. He recognized that one change in the technological frontier would also have an impact on the way that we do business and in the way that we think about our governance institutions. And that ultimately would have an impact on the health of our democracies. And he was proved right.
I've never been more excited and optimistic for CIGI's relevance and growth. And so much of that ties right back to Rohinton's leadership. And so I think we're poised for a remarkable future.
It's been a pleasure to see where you've taken CIGI.
Thank you for being a great leader, for elevating this organization to the think tank it is today.
And I am so excited to see what comes next.
I think he's far from done. I think we're going to see, in many respects, despite all his contributions, I think the best from him is still yet to come.